Thank you for joining my live. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So today I'm going to be reading The Power of the P Part 2. And this time I'm going to be reading Chapter 4. The Power of Choosing Your Battles. Behind every great man is an even greater woman, nagging at him to death. Ladies, let's be honest for a moment. We like to complain. Well, maybe we don't like to complain, but we have to complain. Complaining is a necessary when dealing with men. How else will they remember to take out the trash? How else will they remember to fold their clothes, change their baby diapers, or make sure the kids take a bath? If it weren't for the nagging of women, a lot of men wouldn't get shit done. Plain and simple. They would sit around in their underwear scratching their balls while playing the Grand Theft Auto 5 for 13 hours straight, which always sounds like a good idea for them until they realize they're lonely, horny, hungry, and slowly turning into ambitious, useless losers. They need our nagging because they need our nurturing. When women motivate men, it all goes back to the power of the P. Do you think men will listen to half of what they have to complain about if they didn't need to get that P? They wouldn't care. P is a motivator, and unfortunately for them, P comes along with some demands and expectations. Or at least it should. Expectations such as not being a loser, being a hard worker, remaining faithful, and being a good husband. Of course, there are self-motivated men that work hard with or without nagging of a woman. I'm not saying all men are unmotivated, but even these hardworking, self-reliant gentlemen feel a deep, subconscious push to work hard and have nice things, because deep down inside they desire to attract women. All of this attraction really boils down to the natural God-given desire to mate. P makes the world go round. We are very important existence because we motivate men to get stuff done. But more importantly, we need to repopulate the world. Think about that the next time you're down on yourself. You're a woman, and with the awesome privilege comes a very purposeful position in the world. So, since our private parts are so motivating, we were unknowingly dealt with the ultimate responsibility of being supervisors. Like an employee need a paycheck and therefore the motivation to do what the boss man says, a man needs his woman. And under that right circumstances, he will do what she says. Nagging is a natural part of our nurturing nature designed to keep the wheels of life turning in forward motion. It's necessary and it's part of our design, and that's why we can't help but to complain. Sorry guys, but that's just the way we are. The problem we face as women is that sometimes all of the nagging or lack thereof gets us into trouble. The problem we face with the subject of twofold. One side, some of us nag, fight, or complain too much, and it causes a lot of unnecessary conflicts in our lives. All of this unnecessary conflicts can lead to your intentional breakups with relationships, cause you to be in an unhealthful relationship, or lead you into life of unwanted solitude. Hey, thank y'all for joining. On the other hand, some of us don't complain enough. We don't expect much, and therefore we lead a lot of men down the path of slacking off, all while surfacing our own needs and wants. It's all about balance. Too much bitching is cause for trouble, but not enough bitching can turn you into a pushover. Either scenario can wreak havoc for a woman and can lead to problems in the relationship. Whether it's casual dating, in a committed relationship, or has been married for 20 years, a woman must use good judgment with her motivating powers. We must all learn to choose our battles. This is not to be confused with trying to appease the man in our lives. Choosing our battles is about us. It's about our happiness. The power of choosing your battles will bring positive change into your life. Especially if you find yourself in any of these scenarios. If you find yourself constantly upset and aggravated with everything a man does, if you're chronically single because of all the men you're dated had some kind of issue that caused you to end up dumping them all, if you fight with your man so much that it's driving a wedge in between both of you, if you ever had told your doormat, if you ever been told you're a doormat or a pushover, if you ever been told by your man that you love to complain, or that or that nothing is ever does is good enough. If you decided that you're just meant to be single because of 99.9% of the men you're dated irritate the hell out of you. If your man has threatened to leave you because he can't take the fighting or nagging anymore. If you allow your man to get away with just about anything. If your man has told you that you blow things out of proportion or over exaggerates. If you can't think or act decide for yourself and it drives your man crazy. If you turn mountain into molehills so much that it's making you or your man miserable. If you tell yourself that you would rather face a life of being single than to commit to a guy with imperfections. If men make you cringe, if you make yourself cringe. All of these situations listed above are good examples of people who benefit the most from this chapter. I'm going to break this chapter down into sections. The nagger, the pushover, the fighter, and the perfectionist. As you read through these sections, you will find out that one of them fits you perfectly or may see bits or pieces of yourself scattered throughout. See if you identify with any of these classifications below. If you find that you fit the mold on it, then take this knowledge about yourself and use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Recognizing which category you fit into will help you utilize the power of choosing your battles. Learning to choose your power wisely is what will bring balance, happiness, calmness, and stability into your relationship and in your life. The nagger. I'm a nagger, I will admit it, but women in long-term commitments or marriages are going to end up being a nagger. Naggers. We can't help it. We don't really want to be naggers. It's almost like a Call of Duty when living with a man. One must nag. However, the difference between the naggers that have long-lasting, healthy relationships and the naggers that get the boot or end up leaving their man because they can't nag him enough to elite a change, are the ones who learn that they must choose their battles. Choosing your battles don't mean you need to settle for less or take shit from anyone. It's just a matter of asking yourself, is it worth it? Is whatever I am mad about worth my energy to nag about it? Is it worth me getting myself upset? Is it worth the fights? 50% of that time is just not going to be worth it. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining. However, there are those days when we can't help but to nag. Regardless, we should learn to choose our battles and control the urge of nag from our own sanity. See, the power of choosing your battles is not really about them. It's about us. It's about our tranquility in life. It's about our happiness. So it's not about bowing down or cowarding. It's not about sacrificing our own self-worth or settling for crap. Another reason is why it's because nagging is too much and can be a big waste of our time and energy. You know why men tune out nagging? The sound that comes out of our mouths when our voice goes from a normal pitch to a nagging pitch is another frequency. Man frequency does not pick up the sound waves, and we immediately get turned out. The better way to deal with this issue is to use this knowledge to get what you want without the need to nag. That is by simple and directly asking for what you want and need and asking sweetly. Here we go back to Just Say It from this book 1. But I'm serious. Men are very direct, one-track mind people. If you don't have his utmost attention when asking or nagging or something, there's a high chance he's going to forget. Then there's a high chance that you're going to get annoyed and feel disrespected. It's not that he doesn't love you or respect you. It's not that he's lazy and doesn't want to do it. Well, maybe a little bit. He must likely forget or didn't even process the request the first time because he was thinking about something else. It could also be that because you're acting in a negative way, he automatically gets defensive and then is resistant to cooperate. The next time you feel the nagging coming on, remind yourself to control the urge and simply act with kindness. Act with a smile on your face. You could also be coming from behind him, giving him a big hug and a kiss, and then say whatever it is you would. Say whatever it is you would. Where did I let go? Saying whatever you would sweetly and politely. Honey, would you take the garbage out for me? I would appreciate it so much. If and when he does it, make sure to say thank you. If he doesn't, do it immediately. Politely remind him in an hour or two. Give him 2 chances. If after the second round of niceness he doesn't he still hasn't obliged, then give yourself permission to nag. It's not saying you should never ever nag, because I know good and well that sometimes it must be done. However, allow yourself the opportunity to accomplish more and to effortlessly get what you want by remaining cool and calm about it. Then, if you can't kill him with kindness, kill him with the nagging. However, you will find that when it comes to communicating with your man, you're going to get him to cooperate more by being a sweetheart about it, rather than being immediately resorting to nagging. On the plus side, you're keeping your stress levels down by remaining peaceful about the situation. Better yet, if you have kids, you're teaching them by your action that you can get more of what you want in life by remaining peaceful, cool, calm, and collected. The pushover. The pushover is on the other end of the spectrum. She needs to learn to stand up for herself. She needs to learn to choose her battles more frequently rather than allowing a man to run all over her and take the advantage of her kindness. You know you're a pushover if you let your man get away with the murder and you forgive him time and time again. If you're the type of woman that says, sure, babe, when inside you're really thinking like, no, asshole, then you need to use your power of choosing your battles. Stand up for yourself. Use your power to help you begin voicing your opinion more frequently and more freely and frequently. Being someone's doormat is never going to lead to fulfillment within your relationship. Either you're going to get sick of it or he's going to begin to try and get away with more and more shit over time. Being the yes girl can lead him to pushing the envelope a little more each time until eventually over the span of many years, he's going to do whatever he wants. Thank y'all for joining. You're spoiling that man. What happens when someone gets spoiled, they don't appreciate it. The minute they have to do something that they want to do, they will throw temper tantrums and start fights and run away from the issue. Being a pushover is like putting your man in training for the big spoil baby competition and you're the coach. Don't do that to yourself. You don't want to be a man's mommy. Be his wife, be his girlfriend. Don't be a maid, butler, waitress, and a chef, all wrapped up in one. Then after all of the catering, you allow him to have sex on demand. Where is your happiness in all of this catering? You may be thinking, I'm happy but I love him. But are you really happy or is just a front? Are you happy with the way you are treated? Are you happy when he leaves to go hang out with other people and leaves you behind? Are you happy when he cheats, yells at you, or treats you like shit and disrespect you in front of people? You may truly love him, and that's okay, but don't allow love to fool you into believing that you're happy. If he's taking your kindness for weakness or taking your love for granted, don't lie to yourself about this. If you stay in denial, you will have no one to blame but yourself for putting up with his shit. You can't blame him. You decide what you will allow by putting up with it. You decide, not him. Before you know it, years have gone by and he gets more and more comfortable while you are more and more complacent. Grow a backbone before it gets too comfortable. This doesn't mean you have to turn into a raging bitch. You don't even have to fight or raise your voice. You just need to stand up for yourself more often and become comfortable with voicing your opinion. The power of choosing your battles will help you by getting you to recognize when you speak up and when you let shit slide. You're going to want to go to battle anytime you feel like taking advantage. Every time you feel taken advantage of or disrespected. However, disrespect is happening on a regular basis. You may need to go to war by leaving him. Give him a warning that you need things to change for your own happiness and give him a chance to change. But if things don't begin to get better, you need to leave him alone for the good. You don't deserve to spend your life being someone's doormat. Now, if you prepare to go to battle and stand up for yourself, but you don't feel comfortable being that kind of woman, then you need to remember the power of confidence and power of your P. These two powers can help you in this situation. Build you enough. Build up enough confidence to voice your opinion and stand up for yourself. Use the power of the P to get your way and to reinforce good behavior. As I mentioned earlier, this is not your fight. This is not about fighting not about fighting all the time or becoming a bitch. The power of choosing your battles is important to the pushover because it allows her to have a voice. Every woman deserves to have an opinion and stand up for herself. If you're a pushover, this may seem difficult to implement due to guilt. Don't feel guilty about this. It's normal to have a voice within a relationship. What's not normal is allowing a man to walk over you and disrespect you. If you're really uncomfortable about this, then start off with voicing your opinion about small and stupid things. Like what's for dinner, when he asks you where or what you want to eat, instead of giving him the same, whatever you want, babe, or I don't know. Actually grow some balls and suggest something you like. It's not a big deal. You don't have to allow him to decide everything. You're allowed to have an opinion. It's your God-given right. He may actually appreciate you speaking up and giving suggestions. Once you're comfortable with voicing your opinion over small things, move on to something more complex. When it comes to standing up for yourself over bigger issues, it doesn't have to be dramatic. You can use just say it. Remember, men are a lot less complex than we are. Stating what you want is in a simple yet sweet manner will get you what you want without being a bitch about it. When the time comes, you may be sitting there nervous as hell about speaking up. What is he going to say? What is he going to do? Is he going to be angry? Then when you finally get the courage to say something, you find him eager to block and completely unaware that there was ever even an issue. He might even appreciate what you approached him and communicated with him rather than allowing it to be to bottle up inside. There are some men that prefer quiet, shy, giving type of girl that caters to their needs. If that is your style, that's great. However, be warned that these same men can become annoyed or aggravated with their women constantly lacks an opinion, a backbone, or doesn't have his own 2 feet to stand firmly upon. So in trying to keep him pleased, you maybe actually end up hurting your relationship but by turning him off or irritating him. Worst of all, you're compromise your own happiness. That's never a good idea. So be nurturing, be shy, and be the giving girlfriend that you enjoy being, but don't go to the extreme of being a completely voiceless robotic, boring doormat. Remember, what does a doormat do? It just lies there and serves no purpose other than allowing people to walk over it. That's not who you were designed to be. So get off the floor and don't be afraid to speak up. Speak up once in a while. The fighter. This section is for the girls who love to fight. You know who you are. Don't deny it. You get off by fighting even if you don't like to fight. I know that doesn't make any sense, but continue reading and I will explain logic behind a woman that doesn't like to fight but loves to fight. There are people in the world that get a high off of fighting. It's not that they enjoy to fight, but rather they enjoy the stimuli, the drama, the resolution, that the ego high, or they just love getting in their way. There's a reason why some people just love to fight. And if you get two of those people together in a relationship, there's going to be a ton of unnecessary drama and constant fighting. Are you known for making mountains out of molehills? Does your anger go from 0 to 10 easily? Does your man know how to push your buttons? Or do you and your man fight more than the average couple? Do you think that every couple fights on a regular basis and fighting is normal? If you recognize yourself in the above paragraphs, then you, my dear, may be a fighter. Yes, couples fight, but it's not normal to fight on a regular basis. Have huge blow up fights over stupid things, or to be constantly on the verge of a fight. What is normal and healthy is to express your anger and have occasional fights within a relationship. This is how couples work together, work through issues and compromise. This is what helps relationship moving in a forward direction and on a strong path. But the key word is compromise. The problems come in when the fighting doesn't resolve conflicts and instead becomes excessive, unnecessary, unhappy, abusive, over the top, or addictive. You know when fighting is becoming an unhealthy problem when it begins to destroy your happiness and ultimately your relationship. If you fighting is constant and it's causing you to move away from your partner rather than being a source of understanding and compromise, that brings you both together. You can know for sure that your fighting is unhealthy. If this is an issue in your current relationship or has become a pattern within the past relationships, the power of choosing your battles is going to be a great asset to your life and your relationships. First, let's cover why the fighter likes to fight. There are a few reasons why some women and men just love to fight. Although most will never realize, let alone admit that they were doing this intentionally. Most will blame the other person for being the cause of the arguments. However, I think mature and intelligent women who are tired of the constant issues brought by the fighting will have enough courage to look inside themselves and analyze it, and they're possibly the source of the problem. I also want to mention that if you end up coming to the realization that you may be the cause of the common denominator in your drama-filled relationship, don't feel bad about it. We all learning and growing as we go through the things called life. No one is perfect. We all have issues that we need to acknowledge and work on. It's the people that recognize their imperfection and work hard on overcoming them that will benefit, while the ones who choose to ignore it, deny it, or blame others will continue to sit and fester in their own problems. So why would anyone subconsciously want to fight? Fighting is a negative interaction. Surely no one would like to fight. However, there are a few reasons why people get off on the fighting, and these reasons make them more prone to fight, to start fights and be in tremendous relationships. In my opinion, the three main reasons for this are the ego, addictions, and attention. You may be a fighter for one of these reasons. a combination, or all three. Three reasons the fighter likes to fight. Number one is the ego. Fight brought on by ego have to do with a variety of factors such as satisfaction of winning, feeling superior, being a control freak, or just plain being selfish or spoiled. You may be one of the many women who fight for reasons because unknowingly you enjoy the feeling of being right, being better, or having things go your way, or a simple desire to win all of the arguments all the time. If you're more of the spoiled type, you just want to stop until you get your way. It sucks to fight, but it feels good to win. You may be prone to choose men that are submissive and allow you to win fights and get your way, and therefore you don't have huge issues with this. On the other hand, you could be the type that bounces from commitment to commitment, wondering why your relationships start out great, but always fizzle out due to consistent arguing or end up breakups caused by one huge fight. People that aren't concerned with their ego high will work with their partner on issues that allow the issues to consume the relationship. If you're an ego fighter, you may find that as soon as a man doesn't give in to you, or if he ever dares once to put his foot down, you will lose interest. You either become turned off from the relationship, or slowly over time the ego clashing becomes too much for him to take and he gets turned off from the relationship. If your ego is sabotaging the happiness and relationship, then learning to choose your battles will lead you off your path of self-serving righteousness and upon the path of balance, emotional maturity, and ultimately happiness within your relationships. Begin to take notice of when you're getting ready to go off on a tangent, and force yourself to stop and reflect on the fight. It's about a real issue that needs addressing, or it's just your ego coming out to play. If you can't begin to control yourself from fighting over dumb shit that doesn't really matter and tells yourself to pull back a bit, then you can begin to pick and choose which battles are worth going to war for and which battles you should simply let go. Try to cut back your fighting by 50%. That is one of every 2 fights that you will need to hold back the anger or frustration. This way, you will save fighting for issues that truly matter. Issues that are more important to you than just temporary satisfying your egos being right or getting your way. When all else fails and you cannot contain it, you need to accept that you just need a submissive man that's going to say yes, dear, every time. If you cannot accept being with a submissive man and you can't learn to control your Mr. Ego from rearing from ugly head, then you will have to accept that you're going to be in constant strife mode with the man you date. Unfortunately, that usually leads to lifetime of bouncing from commitment to commitment, with relationships that start off great and passionate but go down the drain for after a few months to a few years. If that's how you want it, keep being egotistical. But if you truly desire a long-lasting, deeper committed relationship, then from this moment forward, begin to choose your battles and choose them wisely. Give it a little bit. It's not just to kill you or let your man have his way once in a while. It may get under your skin temporarily, but you will get past it. In a long run, you will be a happier woman. And the next one is addiction. Addiction to fighting is a very real problem for some, although the act of fighting itself is not pleasurable. The chemicals releasing from your brain when you're fighting can become addicting. When you're under stress and your heart starts pumping, from your brain releases adrenaline gets you going, sending a rush to your system. That's where all the energy in your fight comes from. The fight goes even further, and you start breaking dishes, slamming doors, spewing mean and hateful remarks, or even worse, you begin getting physical with each other. The system steps up another notch and begins to release dopamine. There is where the problem begins. Dopamine is your feeling good hormone. I'm not a doctor or scientist, but I know enough that this hormone to know that when it releases, we can feel attentive, bold, risky, brave, excited, and very pleasured. This sudden onset of bravery and boldness is one of the reasons why we say and do stupid things, and we regret it when we're fighting. More importantly, is one of the reasons why some people can become addicted to fighting. The hormone is also released when people take drugs, and it's one of the main reasons people become addicted to drugs. So while the act of fighting itself is not pleasurable, the release and the rush you get from the dopamine feels good and psychologically level, and feeling can become very addictive as drugs. Adding another level to the problem are the people who have passionate make-up sex directly from a huge blow-up. This is a double whammy or dopamine inflicted pleasure. Not only are we getting addicted to the fighting, but you're subconsciously enjoying the intense build-up, that huge and satisfaction release of an orgasm after all is said and done. The amount of intensity and pleasure has the potential to get any person whimsically addicted. So the next time you hear someone say you're addicted to drama, you say, yes, I am. But let's be honest, no one wants to be an addict, especially an anger addict. That's not fun. If you think this sounds like you now, you know you may be prone to constant fights. With knowledge comes the power to do something about it. It's time to begin to eliminate your addiction so that you can move into a healthy and happy relationship. Again, this is going to boil down to you choosing your battles. When you feel the surge anger coming over you, that feeling that you know is the precursor to the fight, stop yourself. Walk away from the situation if you must. Take a few minutes to ask yourself if the problem is worth the fight. Choose wisely. You don't have to let everything slide, and you especially don't need to go to the extreme of being a pushover. But you do need to learn what is worth fighting for and what is worth letting go. Over time, with practice, you will get better and better at recognizing what you're doing, and you will also get better at being able to control it. When you able to recognize and control it, you will be amazed at how much calmer and happier you will become. Your relationship will blossom and you will move on to a relationship that's healthier and more stable. Choose your battles wisely and fight and live in chaos. The power is in your hands. Number 3 is attention. Another reason why some fighters like to fight is for the attention. This is usually a result of having low self-worth and or low self-esteem. In some unfortunate cases, low self-worth can stem from childhood abuse. For example, being brought up with an environment where negative attention was the only form of attention, or growing up in an environment where there were not proper or healthy amounts of attention. Children crave attention as they develop, and if the child's needs are not met under normal, healthy circumstances, the child may feel like he or she is not loved or wanted. This leads to a sense of inequality, insecurity, and low self-worth. Even through the lack of love, affection, and healthy interactions, and is never the child's fault. It's and taken very personally. This may, but not at all time, lead to the child's needing to seek out attention. And if the attention comes from negative circumstances, then so be it. The attention-seeking behavior can then flow over it into adulthood and wreak havoc in one's relationship. Sometimes it may not even be anything to do with the childhood issues. It could be a problem that started in adolescence or in an adulthood. Everyone needs to feel that they belong and matter to others. When a person doesn't feel that belonging for whatever reason, it will manifest in attention-seeking behaviors. And one of those behaviors can be fighting. For attention seeker, fighting makes them feel like they're worth something to someone. Someone cares enough to fight, even if it's temporary. That someone is paying enough attention to fight with them, and the attention is uplifting. They may feel that the person actually cares and loves them because they are passionate enough about the person to fight with them. So it gives a twisted sense of love, compassion, and security that leads to euphoria. It doesn't matter if it's an unhealthy way of getting it. They are receiving the love and attention they need. Feelings of inadequacy, of insecurity, no matter where they come from, are deeply rooted in people with low self-esteem. And a person who has low self-worth interprets interaction with others through a distorted lens. It only makes sense that their methods of gaining attention are through distorted means. It's all attempt to feel better through praise, forgiveness, or demanding other people's time or focus. If someone along the way they figure out that they can get that through fighting, it becomes a hard habit to break. If you recognize yourself or your situation in the above paragraph, don't get down on yourself. Recognizing and accepting our issues is half the battle, and no one is perfect. The other half, the battle, is learning how to deal with other issues healthier ways than what you're used to. This may take some time, but it's all worth it. It will lead to long-term happiness. In this situation, all that boils down to having healthy self-esteem and self-acceptance. For some reason, confidence and self-love are easy concepts to grasp. For others, they may need to learn, study, and train their ways to self-love. You work on a lot in the book. We worked on a lot in book 1. If you feel you need additional assistance, there is a ebook. I recommend in the first book that I suggest you read it. You will have read it if you have not done so yet. While you're working on your self-esteem, you can use your power to choose your battles as a tool to help you avoid unnecessary drama. The next one is perfectionist. Are you chronically single because every man you date has some kind of issue that you cannot get over? You may be a perfectionist. If every time you go on a date or enter into a relationship, you find yourself saying things similar to these lines. His nose is too big. He smells funny. His clothes is too baggy. He spends too much time with his mom. His back is hairy. His head is flat. His car is old. He's short. He needs to wax his eyebrows. He didn't open the car for me. His D is too small. His Z is too big. He breathes stinks in the morning. His breath stinks in the morning. He has kids. He is breathing. Does it sound like your conversation with your friends when you're analyzing a new potential mate? Even if you just 1 or 2 complaints, if you can't seem to get over small turnoffs, and if it has left you single and alone time and time again, you may be a perfectionist, which is fine if you enjoy being lonely, picky, and self-righteous. However, if you desire to settle down with a man that lives on this planet, he's going to have some flaws. And the chances are pretty high that you're going to be gross or annoying. Annoying, flaws. Nobody's perfect. Not even you, and especially not a man. You're never going to find him or give up on the thought of having a relationship with the real man. There's nothing wrong with having standards and expecting certain traits in a man you date or settle down with. That's why we made the Dream Man list in your book, in book 1. The problem is when you let a few small or insignificant things get into the way of developing a relationship with a potential awesome man. Time and time again, when you do this, you're just sabotaging your own happiness. Use the dream list as a guide to not only raise your awareness of what you really want, but to help you remember what is and what is not important. What if you went on a date with the man you were meant to marry, but you didn't accept the invitation to a second date because he didn't automatically pass your bread at dinner or ask you if he wanted another drink? Now I know some of you are thinking, that's so stupid. Who would care about something so insignificant? Well, if that's your mindset, then you're not a perfectionist. And this section is not for the issue for you. However, Mrs. Perfectionist is the one out there, and she knows she is, and she knows good and well that I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Miss Perfectionist, I want you to know that it's okay to have turnoffs. I'm not just saying you should accept things that you just cannot take. And I'm saying it's what all I'm saying is to analyze if you are being too picky and if it's leading you down the path of loneliness. Sometimes we can be in denial about these loneliness and proclaim that we are single by choice, which is great. We should all be single for a while, but don't lie to yourself for years and allow your years to turn into decades. This can easily sabotage your own happiness and rob you of sharing your awesome life with an equal awesome man. You just because he had a hairy back. I know this all sounds gross, but you know what I'm talking about. We all do it. We all look around at a man when we're single, and honestly, it's hard to find that super sexy, perfect guy. Usually, when you find the one, he's either married, gay, uninterested, or a player. We can't win, so we must give up on the search for perfection and accept a man or human being just like us. And that means that 100% of them are going to have imperfections. So again, we must learn to choose our battles. In this case, choosing battles isn't about fights or nagging. For the perfectionist, choosing battles is about learning to accept that any man you date is going to have some gross, annoying traits. Then it's about finding a man whose annoying traits are things you can eventually get past. You have to trade the bad for the good. So maybe he's a hairy guy, but he's faithful and he's head over heels in love with you. I purpose, no, or perhaps he has acne, but he slings that but he slings that D like a professional, pays the bills on time, and will love you for life. But you will never give him the chance to prove it. Or even worse, he was your soulmate, but you turned him away because he made a simple mistake or not offering you his jacket when you were cold. You know what to do with these men. You train them. You use your amazing P powers and you speak your mind and say, I love it when a man offers his jacket when I'm cold. And right now I am freezing. The chances of a man ignoring your direct message and not offering his coat are the slim to none. The chances are that he's not clueless and unaware that you're cold and waiting for him to offer his jacket as much higher. When it comes to the physical stuff, you can still train him. You just have to wait until you're made him fall in love. That's when you take his ass to the salon and get his back waxed, his eyebrows done, or his gray hairs dyed. That's when you deal with the whatever imperfection or irritating things that he does. Any issue you have with a man can either be fixed, corrected, or taught by using your power of your P, and the things that can't be fixed can't always be overlooked. Ask any happily married woman and she will tell you that her husband has annoying or gross attributes. Don't care how sexy her husband is, she will tell you in a few things that drive her mad. She will also tell you that she had to get used to his imperfections or correct them over time with her P power. When you fall in love with a man, you begin to look past all of his flaws. Suddenly, he's not so gross after all. he's actually quite sexy, perhaps the finest man on the planet, because he loves you and he will die for you. Love conquers all, even bad breath. However, you will never go to the point of being able to love a man unconditionally and see him past his shortcomings if you won't allow him the opportunity to make you fall in love. Why are we so damn picky? As women, we push ourselves too hard to be perfect. We're too hard on ourselves and we're too hard on each other. We cover our imperfections with makeup. We push up our boobs and fake the size of them with $50 bras. We wear Spanx to disguise our rolls and cellulite. We wear heels to look taller and sexier. We wear extensions in our hair, dye it, and change it in our natural texture. We wear tight, uncomfortable clothes. Then we go home at the end of the day to take it all off, and there we are. Imperfections on the face, sagging boobs or small cup sizes, cellulite, bellies, stretch marks, and jiggling thighs. Under all the crap is an imperfect woman who just wants to be loved and accepted for who she is. But that same woman is going to have a hard time finding true love if she's unable to accept that any man she dates will have flaws as well. We have to stop doing this to each other. Man and woman are alike. None of us are perfect, but we all are special, and we all deserve love and respect despite of our flaws, and so do men. It's okay to want to be sexy and look good. It's okay to want your man to be sexy and look good. However, if you're seeking perfection and getting in the way of your happiness, you need to look within and ask yourself if you ever really going to find it. Probably not. So wouldn't it just be best to look past an imperfection every now and then? Not saying you need to marry a Sasquatch, but you need to find your perfect Prince Charming and look past his hairy eyebrows. Choosing wisely. Now that we've gone all over the different ways we can sabotage our own happiness, whether it's from being a nag, being too picky, too bitchy, or not being bitchy enough, can you see yourself in any of these scenarios? Acknowledging your faults is half the battle. When you recognize your responsibility within your relationship issues, you can begin to do something about it. Once you're own up to your faulty characteristics, you can begin to turn things around by choosing your battles. The wisest way of choosing, no matter which scenario you find yourself in, is asking yourself a very simple question. Is this worth it? Is it worth nagging about it? Is it worth causing an argument? Is it worth adding another layer of drama into your relationship? Is it worth being alone? Is it worth having my way? Is it worth my happiness? If you can honestly answer the question, you will know when to let shit slide and when to stand up for yourself. You will know when to give in and walk away when it stick it out, and to fight. The power of choosing your battles is not about learning not about letting shit slide every time, nor is about letting men get away with murder. Remember, it's about you, your happiness, your sanity, and your relationship. In every good relationship, there is a compromise. Both people have to give a little, or the scales are tipped too far into one side and the relationship flops. Whether it's from male or the female, if one person in a relationship is consistently putting their foot down, causing arguments, or not standing up for themselves, things are going to fall apart eventually over time. Admitting when you're wrong. Let's say that you constant fighting has caused a strain on your relationship to the point where your man has no foot out the door. You both love each other very much, but the arguments have taken over the relationship, and both of you are growing tired of it. As a woman, some of us are very hard-headed and would allow our man to walk away from relationship rather than simply apologizing. He has probably apologized 100 times in different ways. He has probably apologized 100 times in 100 different fights. But this is the fight that he refuses to budge on. In the heat of the moment, when he's gathering his stuff to leave, you may be thinking, walk away, asshole, leave, I don't care. You may even say it out loud to him, but deep down inside, you're crying. No, don't leave. Stay and work it out. He leaves and slams the door on his way out. Then when the tears go strolling down your face, you're sitting alone crying and wondering if you're finally done. Have you finally pushed him out the breaking point and killed the love for you? Oh well, F him, you think to yourself, ignoring the pain deep down inside that encourage you to apologize and admit that you are wrong. Apologizing and admitting that you were wrong is one of the hardest things to do to some of us. I know, because I am one of these women. I am strong. I am headstrong. I'm a headstrong Aries woman. I don't like to apologize to anyone for anything because I'm always right, even when I know I'm wrong. It's taken me years to learn how to humbly say I'm sorry when I am wrong, and I'm still struggle with it. Admitting I am wrong to anyone, especially my man, causes a burning agitation deep inside of my core. It's not until I recognize this fault within my personality that I was able to work on making it stop. I learned to choose my battles, and for me personally, that means apologizing when I am wrong and holding back on the nagging. What does the power of choosing your battles means for you personally? Do you think that the power of choosing your battles can help you find balance and happiness in your life? Do you think that you can relieve stress in your life by holding back some of the time? Can you learn to admit when you are wrong and apologize? Can you cut back on fighting and nagging by 50%? Can you learn to stand up for yourself if you're a pushover? Can you learn to overlook imperfection? If you can begin to choose your battles and choose them wisely, a new world awaits you. A world that's less stress, less bullshit, less fighting, less anger, less loneliness, and less sadness awaits you. We're women, and we're rarely are we ever wrong. But sometimes some varies, and very rare times we are. Recognize your faults and wrongdoings. Work on correcting them. Then sit back and watch your love life slowly change for the better. So that was chapter 4. That was chapter 4 I just read. The power of choosing your battles. So tomorrow I may come and do chapter 5, which is, no, I'm not going to tell y'all what it is, but I might do chapter 5. I might come in live depending on how I feel. So I don't know what time I'm going to come in and do it, because I just come in whenever I come in. When it depends on how I feel, pretty much. So I would like to thank each and every one of y'all for coming to my live. I really appreciate it. And I hope each and every one of y'all have a great day. And thank you. And also check out the book, because this is a good book. It's The Power of the P, Part 2, Dating, Marriage, and Divorce Advice for Women by Kara King. So this is a good book to read. Thank you.